Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about Saint Edward the Confessor.
He was a king and he was a husband and obviously he was a son. And he is the patron saint of marriages and separated families. Saint Edward the Confessor was the son of King Ethelred and was the son of his Norman wife called Emma. In the year 1013, do you know what happened?
Then the King of Norway invaded England.
Yeah. The King of Norway had invaded England. He was called the King of Sweden. And so did Canute the Great.
And he was the King of Denmark, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he remained in England and became the king after Ethelred had passed away. And at this time, in 1013, his mother, Edward's mother, had taken him and herself, and they had gone to Normandy. But in 1016, his mother had come back and had got married to Canute the Great.
While didn't Edward remain in Norway and made
Normandy,
and made lots of friends there?
Yeah, and he had a very supportive person on his side who was called the Earl of Godwin.
And he was from England, and he wanted an English king back on the throne.
Yeah, so because Godwin wanted this, he had, through a lot of help and stuff, Edward had then become the King of England. And
in 1044,
he married
Godwin's daughter
called Edith.
Yeah, and if Edward didn't have any sons or daughters, he would become the next king.
Godwin, yeah.
King Edward's reign was a really good one, and it was a really successful one since he removed taxes. But it was also a struggle due to the fact he favoured Normans more than the Brits, because he was in Normandy for a lot of time.
For most of his life, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was very dangerous because he made a Norman baron the Archbishop of Canterbury instead of a priest.
So this would have caused a lot of controversy, right?
Yeah. And remember Godwin?
Yes.
Yeah. He was banished to Flanders because he was just being annoying in general to his rule.
Okay.
So a few years later, he came back with an armed revolt, but luckily there was no fighting due to the fact that Godwin and was Edward just made a truce and talked their deals out. So Godwin wanted an English person to be the archbishop, and that would mean there would be a truce. So Edward was like, okay, I'll do it. And then the Norman baron was sent back to Normandy, and an English person was made the archbishop.
So did this stop the controversy and stuff?
Yes.
Okay. After this, Edward had then become more interested into the religious affairs, and he had built St. Peters Abbey, which is in Westminster.
Yeah, isn't that where he was buried?
Yeah, he was buried here, and if you want to go to London, make sure you do see it because it's an amazing place, and you can see his grave and where he is buried. As a result of his piety and well-being, he was given the surname the Confessor, and as we know, St. Edward the Confessor. Eventually he had died on January the 5th in London, and in 1161 he was canonized by Alexander III.
What can we learn from his marvelous life?
So we can learn, because remember how he wanted a truce and he talked things out with Godwin? Yeah. So we can use that in our lives. Instead of always going for an argument or instead of always going to fight with someone, we can just sit with them and talk it out.
And we can also become a saint wherever we are, because he was a king as you know it.
Yeah, like we say in our other videos, you don't have to be priests or nuns or part of the religious, because in St. Edward's case, he was a king. And he became interested in the religious affairs after some time in his life. St. Edward the Confessor's feast day is on the 3rd of October. Nevin, would you like to end the video for us today?
So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you can,
And
please.
before we end, make sure to comment down below which saints you would like us to talk about. So, Saint Edward the Confessor,
Pray for us.